What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to go over exactly how step by step to set up a newsletter within HubSpot. Okay, not a marketing automated blast every single person that opts in, but a way for you guys to engage with customers long term, or prospects, I should say, long term, especially to build trust with the way that the market is today. It's one of the best ways. You can have it in every single YouTube footer. You can have it at the bottom of all your emails, and you can build your list quite quickly if you set it up properly. Now, one of the things we see all the time is weird, janky ways of setting up newsletters, which doesn't allow you to actually use a lot of the reporting and a lot of the firepower that HubSpot has to offer when you actually are leveraging a newsletter properly. So I'm going to break down exactly how you should set it up step by step. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the subscription type, how to set up the list so that you can filter your most active. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to score your most active subscribers so that you can see that across your entire list and basically throw it into reporting. I'm going to show you how to wrap it all into a campaign so you can get visibility, reporting, metrics. And then I'm also going to show you how to set up the workflows and a few other things to make it really clean so you can always know that it is up to date. One of the biggest pain points that we see with newsletters is they never know who they should be hitting on their list, who's active, who's not active, all this different stuff. This will completely get rid of that. So with that being said, my name is Aaron Platt. I own a company called salesmomentum.io. We're one of the fastest growing partners with HubSpot. We're the rookie of the year in 2023, and we're likely to break a lot of records in 2024. So with that being said, let's jump straight in the video. All right, guys, so there's a few steps that we're going to go through. We're going to first set up our actual subscription types so that we can make sure that our newsletter is subscribed to a specific subscription. So just in case somebody unsubscribes from your newsletter, they don't unsubscribe from your marketing or your fulfillment or any of those different subscription types, okay? The second piece is we're going to set up the form for the opt-in so that you can, not have to use a landing page or anything along those lines. You can if you want to get some more metrics, but if you're just starting out, recommend just using a form. We're then going to talk about the two lists, how you need to set them up. One's going to be an active list. One is going to be a static list. We're going to go into how to actually create the workflow to make sure everything stays organized. And then I'm going to talk to you about the campaigns and ultimately how to send them out so they stay within your campaign. So everything can be attributed to your newsletter for revenue, for deals, for bookings, all that stuff. Okay. So the first step, okay, if you're in HubSpot, you can go into the settings. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see basically a tab that says marketing. Once you click that open, you're just going to click on email. It'll take you to this main page. The first thing you're going to want to do is create a subscription type. Okay. So you can see in here, I've got Sales Momentum newsletter. I've got the description and it is active. Okay. You can create multiple subscription types. For example, we use one for one-to-one, one for customer service, one for our sales, and then one for our newsletter. Okay. So all you're going to do, click create, language, set it up, name it, boom, and then you're going to be done. Okay. Now I'll show you more on how to actually use this in the workflow setting. The second piece that you are going to want to create is going to be any kind of opt-in form, right? So this form is super, super easy for this example. Sales systems, a CEO's perspective, subscribe below to gain access to Aaron Platt's personal newsletter, resources, HubSpot systems, etc. Blah, blah, blah. I recommend either doing name and first name, last name, email, or just email. As people start to engage with your stuff, they're going to opt in further and you're going to get more information. So this should be very, very top of funnel. And ultimately what we're going for here is if you're doing a lot of organic content or a lot of paid ads or anything along those lines, we want something that's as little friction as possible to build this list. And then we're going to sprinkle in CTAs as well as a ton of value so that people can actually gain insights into how you think as a CEO or leadership team or your company, right? This should be some of the most valuable content that you produce. And you can put it at the description of any of your YouTube videos, on your website, a whole bunch of different other stuff. Kind of taking it a step further, you could put this on a landing page and you could add a link down below that says, show me your emails, and you can post a blog every single time that you push an email out so people can read before they actually subscribe, which will obviously help get people into your newsletter. Okay. On the redirect, what we're doing right now is we're just redirecting back to my YouTube channel. Maybe down the line, we'll redirect to our VSL, but for right now, we just want people consuming content and we want to provide value. Okay. So very, very simple, easy, simple to set up. HubSpot is a brand new feature where you can do multiple steps now. So if you wanted to do step 1 is email, step 2 is phone number, step 3 is first name, last name for whatever reason, you can do that now, but I'm not going to go into that right now. You just need to create a simple form, something easy that you can use as basically what you're going to send them to opt in. All right. Now, the second piece is very important. This is the simplest way to set it up. You're going to create an active list. Okay. So you're going to go into your lists, which you can go in and click on list right here. You're going to create a folder that is labeled blank, blank newsletter, right? So you can house all of your lists directly inside that folder. And you're going to set up your filters just like this. It's going to be last email marketing open date is less than 60 days ago because we want to filter out anybody that's not opening our emails, right? If they unsubscribe, they're going to be removed from this. So it's all good. But we want to basically make sure that people are opening these emails so our deliverability is high, etc. Right? Email subscription. So and email subscription has opted into Sales Momentum Newsletter, which is going to be your email subscription, right? So if I go in here and do email subscription, right, you have all of the different subscriptions that we carry that I just showed you in step 1. Okay. So you're going to save this, throw it into your folder. The next is going to be a static list. Okay. So static just means that it can only be, people can only be put into it via workflow or manually, and they can only be taken out via workflow or manually. You can put filters and stuff around it, but for this video, that's the concept. Okay. So for this one, it's going to be really, really simple. You're just going to filter it by email subscription has opted into Sales Momentum Newsletter, right? And then you're going to put, you can put, if you would like to, subscription is active or they're marked as a marketing contact, right? So just in case they, unsubscribe or whatever the case may be, okay? So this is going to be your primary list. This is where you're going to be primarily sending out your emails to, okay? Now, one thing that you can do, and I'm going to pause real quick, you can go in to the back side of HubSpot and you can go into objects, go to contacts, and you can create, manage contact properties. We're going to do create property and we'll select a group. I would put it in a newsletter group, right? And let's just say newsletter engagement score, right? So you can put a score here. For object type, you're going to do contact, right? Select the group that you want it to be in. And then you can go to field type and we're just going to use our score property, okay? Something that would be really easy for you to do is email subscription is within the newsletter, right? You can give them, let's call it, 2 points, right? Apply. And you can also do add criteria. Let's give this 2 points as well. And we're going to do, let's do marketing emails. Oh, sorry, back. We're going to do contact properties actually. Number of emails opened. Emails. Okay, so we're gonna do number of marketing emails opened, right? So you could do is greater than or equal to, let's call it 5, right? So if they open 5, they're gonna get another 2 points and so on and so forth. On the negative side, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna add criteria, basically putting in the same score. So marketing emails opened is greater than or equal to, less than or greater than 5 within the last blank amount of days, okay? And you can detract points as well if they're starting to fall off, okay? This is gonna give you a really cool, easy way to filter your list. And if you ever hold an event or a webinar, you wanna invite a bunch of people, who's actively engaging so you can deliver and get the highest click-through and opt-ins and whatever you guys want, okay? So pretty simple there. Now, next step, we gotta create the workflow, okay? So in order to have the workflow created, we need the subscription type, we need the list, and then we need our form so we can set that trigger. So really, really simple. You're gonna create a contact workflow. The trigger is just gonna be has completed the form and then the form that you created, right? It's gonna set them as a marketing contact. It's going to subscribe them to the subscription type Sales Momentum Newsletter, and it's going to add them to the master list, which is going to be your static list, okay? Now, one other thing you can do is you could always go in and add, for example, like a welcome email, right? So if you wanted to, for example, send out your first email this way, you can. I don't like to do that. You can, it works. We're just getting going kind of newsletters for ourselves, et cetera. So we're kind of dancing around a few different ideas with this. All right, so very, very simple workflow. Make sure it's turned on, and then you're going to want to keep re-enrollment off, okay? Next, so in terms of the actual campaign, so inside of HubSpot, inside of campaigns, you're going to create a campaign, okay? The reason you're gonna create this campaign is because one, we're going to add all of the assets. So if we go to, for example, assets that are a part of this newsletter. So the form, the static list, the workflow it goes through, and then as you set up emails, right, that you want to send out, in the settings, right, you can send it from whoever or, all of that stuff, right? Subject line, preview text, but you're going to set the subscription type to Sales Momentum Newsletter, and then you're also going to add to the campaign, which is the campaign that I just mentioned you're creating, internal newsletter. So every time you send out a new email, that campaign is gonna get that email added inside of it. And that way you can track your performance, your revenue, your deals. You can go in and track how many deals have been created, revenue, booked calls, all of that stuff. You can see activity, subscriptions, all that good stuff, okay? So really, really easy way to keep track of this, manage it, and make it super, super simple. All right, so with all that being said, last step, if we're gonna be sending or scheduling, right, we set up we want it in this campaign, here's all the information, we wrote it, right? All you're gonna do is select your newsletter signups master, right? Or your active list. I like to go with the active list because remember, it has that filter on it that filters out anybody who hasn't opened anything in the last 60 days. You're gonna click that list, you can send it now, schedule for later, and you can get your newsletter running, okay? Now, one other component that I think will be really helpful for you guys that you guys can explore on your own is going to be the actual approvals feature inside of HubSpot. So if you go to the settings tab and on the left side, you scroll down until you see approvals, right? You can go ahead and click in here if you have a marketer who's doing your newsletter or whatever the case may be. Maybe you're writing it, you don't need this, but you can go in and you can set up your marketing emails approvals flow, okay? So if you set this up, it'll take you through step by step. It's really easy, but anytime somebody schedules a newsletter to go out, it'll populate on the calendar to show you all of the emails that you have scheduled, and then it'll also allow you to approve or disapprove that email going out. So it gives you control over it. You can do this with social media posts and a bunch of other stuff too, which is really, really helpful. So guys, there you go, step by step, really simple, easy to break down and follow along. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Happy to answer or help. I can make other videos on how to actually leverage this once you have it set up and you're actually managing it properly. Down below in the description is our registration link for my newsletter where I talk about the market, HubSpot, systems, what we're finding in marketing, sales teams. It's really just my thoughts, and I write one newsletter per week, and it's just my thoughts on whatever it is that I'm doing. So click below, sign up. Would love to have you in the list. And if not, I will see you in another video.